because I'll tell you why I think it's an interesting question. Because when I was doing all of this, right, and we are 5, 6, 7, 8 years late into the conversation, but my friends back in the day were like, you know what, who does even sales, right? Because when you first think sales, as someone growing up in India, first idea is, you go knock on someone's door, you try and sell them Britannica or some paint or whatever, right? You're just used to that door-to-door salesman, and you just like always grew up hating that idea. I think it was very same for me. I think I was fairly that was my idea of sales as well. Like while I was in college and to that duration, and I think two things happened. One was obviously as we were building Cure and sort of things were sort of happening. I realized that and I had sort of already got this patent, the publications, all this, other stuff that was happening. So I was like, okay, this is pretty much a lot that I would have never imagined in my research career to sort of have happened has already happened. But I was like, the reason why we founded the company and all of it was to actually make an impact. But all of that only happens when that sort of product that we created, which is on research papers, patents, sort of goes out there in the public. And I was like, if that needs to happen, someone needs to go out and do that, like as a focus thing, right? And obviously, as someone build the product, it is very much easier for you uh, to sort of like be able to talk about it, right? Because I was building the product, right? When you're building the research, you sort of exactly know what product you built, how it is better than everything else, how it performs better, you just like intuitively know so much more about everything, not just like the product, but also what's out there in the competition, how they perform, all of it, right? So it just made so much sense, right, for me to just go out and do that. And I think that honesty sort of helped a lot when I had started having this conversation, just being able to, I did not go about claiming, like how usually sales people normally start off with like claiming this, that, that. It was never like that for me. It was more different. We'll talk about that different approach. But yeah, I started off with that. So first idea was that let's just do this because that's the most important thing Cure needed at that point of time, right? Sort of, actually going out and making that product stick out there. The second thing for me, which is broader realization, which sort of happened while I sort of started doing the first, was that in life, if all of us are sales guys, right? I mean, we are all selling something. It just this idea of sales as a door-to-door commercial sales guy, knocking and selling is a very stereotyped image. But if you really look at it, all of us are selling something. As someone going for a job, you're selling yourself. Your CV is trying to sell you before you do that. You're trying to raise fund, you're selling your company to the investor. You're trying to hire people, you're selling the vision of the company. So everyone's selling. Literally everybody, everywhere, every day is selling. And once I got that idea, I was like, oh my God, I need to be doing this as a real, if I need to perfect it, I really need to do this as a full-time thing on an everyday basis, right? That's how I perfect any skill. That's how I perfected AI. So if this is what everybody at the end of the day doing, let's just do it, right? So those are two, I think, sort of reasons what sort of led me to go full on in. And I think the results came, so that's why I think I kept on doing it. I was like, okay, this is working. So,
Interesting.